Hey folks, welcome back. Pop Retro 1 on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at facebook.com/popretro1 and patreon.com/popretro. I want to take a few minutes to quickly go through my latest batch of Vinegar Syndrome arrivals that showed up. This will be 4 Vinegar Syndrome titles and one from one of their partner labels that I picked up. This would be from July. So these are July releases, if I'm remembering correctly. So first we've got Shriek of the Mutilated from 1974. Take a look at that slipcover. Sort of a, whatever, the Abominable Snowman adventure, horror, suspense. Directed by Michael Finley. Cinematography by Roberta Finley, I think. Yes. And lots of special features, as always, from Vinegar Syndrome. There's a look at the back. And there's the disc. And there is reversible art, as always, on these Vinegar Syndrome titles. And there's a look at it. I won't pull it out, but just a quick glimpse through the glare from my computer screen in front of me. Looks like a fun title. Piece by piece by piece, the bodies vanish in Shriek of the Mutilated. I mean, that sounds like a fun title, doesn't it? Okay. Up next, more fun titles. This one I need to be careful on how I present to the YouTube audience here. This is a double feature from Jess, Franco. 2 Undercover Angels. Bet you can't tell what I'm covering up with my finger to get away from the YouTube censors. And a double feature with Kiss Me Monster, which I'll do the same thing there. Kiss Me Monster, there you go. Okay, let's take it out. 2 movies for the price of 1. These are kind of like kitschy, very like, I don't know, pulpy, pop art, sort of just fun from, what years were these? 1969, both of them. And still in the early stages of his career, Jess Franco directed this duo of outrageously stylish, horror-styled capers with Janine Renaud and Rosanna Yanni. Take a look at the inside. Get that right. Let's see. Make sure I'm not violating anything. Look at that nice censor job by the disc, the Blu-ray disc there. Let's see if we will violate anything on the reverse art. And it looks like not too bad, so there you go. All right. If my channel's not here tomorrow, you'll know why. You can thank Jess Franco. This would be worse things to have on your resume, right? All right, we got 3 more titles up next from 1986. This one's actually pretty exciting. We've got Righting Wrongs. Now, this is one of those Vinegar Syndrome packages that is pretty exciting. First of all, look how thick it is compared to just like a regular one. So you can tell it's thicker. That doesn't mean there's more movies in here, because there's not, but there's a lot of extra stuff in here. So I'll just show that to you here. That's Cynthia Rothrock there on the cover art. So we've got slips inside slips inside slips. So there's the slip with the movie for Righting Wrongs. I believe this was called Above the Law if you rented it here in the United States back in the day, which I think was a real heavily edited version, according to what I've read. So it will be really interesting to see the original version of Righting Wrongs, especially in that high Vinegar Syndrome HD quality. So let's take this out and look at the case. So essentially, Vinegar Syndrome has righted a wrong in putting this out in a proper manner. So 3 discs in this. There's the first one, the second one, and the third one. And let's see if I can show you the reverse art over here. I think that mirrors what you saw on the slip case, the hard case. Now on disc 3, first of all, there's a ton of special features on this. I mean, look at this. And if there's not, then there's a lot of words. But I think it means there's a lot of special features on here. And disc 3 contains The Best of Martial Arts, which is a 91-minute documentary from 1990. It's hosted by John Saxon, includes footage and interviews with Cynthia Rothrock, Jackie Chan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bruce Lee, lots of others, along with a theatrical trailer for The Best of Martial Arts. So that's going to be really fun to watch, and that kind of really makes this worthwhile too, because you also get different versions of the film. Disc 1 contains the original 96-minute Hong Kong cut with Cantonese, English, and Mandarin language tracks. Disc 2 is the extended and vastly different 100-minute Chinese cut with a Mandarin language track, along with newly translated Mandarin to English subtitles and a commentary track. So there you go. Righting wrongs. Now, that's not all, folks. That's not all. We've also got, it comes with a book. Let's see. There it is. There's the front of the book, Righting Wrongs. And Above the Law on the back. And you can see this little book has a lot of images and photos from the movie. And I assume it's going to be a rundown of the production, because I haven't looked at this yet. Let's see. Photo and essay book. I can't tell who it's by. So, I'll leave that out. I don't know who wrote whatever's in this book. So I'm going to guess it's from the Vinegar Syndrome folks. And there you go. It's a nice package, If you're a big fan of this movie, this is all you'll ever need right here. Let's see if I can get it back in here without ruining it. It's one of the things with these packagings, they're so nice. You don't want to ruin anything. You don't want to scuff anything up. You want to keep them as nice as you can. There you go. Righting wrongs. Wrong righted. Up next, we've got, from outside of the regular Vinegar Syndrome purview, we've got Vinegar Syndrome Archive. And that is their special side sub-label for, I guess, what they call the throwback celebration to the VHS rental stores, the video rental stores of our youth from back in the 80s and 90s. And lately they've released a lot of 1990s action stuff, which is great. I have fun with that stuff. I grew up watching that stuff. And so I've really enjoyed the line. And this one is no exception. We've got, from 1995, it is Cyber Vengeance. And of course you can see the bottom loading slipcase, which is a hard slipcase, to mimic the way that VHS tapes were loaded into their cases. Now let's take this out. Complete with sound effects. All right, we've got Cyber Vengeance. There's a look at the back. Robert Davi is in this. Also stars J. Gregory Smith. And what'll be fun about watching this is just what I love about those mid-90s movies. It was when the internet was first coming out, and there was so much promise, and what does this mean for us moving forward? And so a lot of movies, of course, tried to. The one that always jumps out to me in my head is The Net, the Sandra Bullock movie. But a lot of those films came out, and watching them now, like 25, 26, 27 years later, to see what they thought was going to happen and how they exaggerated maybe what was going to happen is fun to see, as well as just like the CG, early CG effects or just computer graphics that they use to depict the internet and what computer screens looked like back then is also kind of amusing sometimes to see. These all come with a poster. I'm not going to take this poster out because I'm sure it mimics the cover art. I will take out the disc, however, so you can see what the reverse art looks like, and it is just a reversal of what you also got on the hard case slipcase. So there you go, Cyber Vengeance. And I really like Robert Davi. He's fun. So this will be fun to watch again. I'm pretty sure I rented this back it would have been in college, I think. Just one of, me and 3 other guys living in an apartment in college. We rented a lot of this stuff back in the day. So once I start watching it, hopefully it'll ring a bell, but it'll probably be like watching it new to me again. So, all right, finally, one OCN partner label release that I picked up this month. And this is from a company that I've picked up a lot from, as I've really liked a lot of their releases, and that is Culture Shock Releasing. And this one is called Raw Nerve. Now, Raw Nerve, really cool, directed by, what's his name? Ted Pryor? Was it Ted Pryor, the director? I know that he directed, and like his brother starred in the movies. Okay, Ted Pryor is the actor, and it was David A. Pryor that was the director, right? He did Man Killers, Deadly Prey, and Aerobicide, Killer Workout, which just super fun movies from the 80s. And this movie, Raw Nerve, well, I'll read you the back, okay? Race car driver Jimmy Clayton is having mind-shattering visions over and over. He sees young women ruthlessly murdered. He tries to go to the police as a witness to the latest murder, but they think he's crazy. An investigative reporter catches wind of Jimmy's tale and tries to help him, but the blood-soaked pieces help him put the blood-soaked pieces together. Learn how to read. But when Jimmy's little sister appears in one of his visions, Jimmy's world comes violently crashing down. So Raw Nerve was the most expensive film David A. Pryor had directed at this time. This is from 1991. And his budget for this was $90,000. Shot in affordable Alabama. Most of that money went to the noteworthy cast. Now listen to the cast of this. Alongside frequent collaborator Ted Pryor, again, I believe that's his brother, Raw Nerve features Traci Lords in one of her first narrative films, Glenn Ford in his final film, Sandahl Bergman, from Conan the Barbarian, Jan Michael Vincent, Stringfellow from Airwolf, and Randall Tex Cobb, the old school guy. He was in, Ace Ventura and Raising Arizona. So just, that's a really pretty big cast for such a movie as this, low budget, $90,000 budget. So there you have it. Lots of special features too, including that commentary with actor Ted Pryor. Along with the cinematographer and the editor, interviews with Ted Pryor, interview with the producer, a remastered original trailer, vintage blooper reel, and a bunch of other stuff. So there you go. That's Culture Shock Releasing, kind of knocking it out of the park with some of these lesser remembered movies from back in the day, back when we were just youngins. Those of us who are like mid Gen X, younger Gen X, Gen X in general. So there's the that art, and the reverse art is what you saw on the slipcover. So there you have it, Vinegar Syndrome, and one OCN title for July of 2022. Thanks for joining me for this one. I'll be back sooner than I was between this one and the last one with some more haul videos and some reviews, and I will see you then.